This just into the Gala newsroom. Okay, so seriously, I had this video all set and ready to go, fully recorded and everything, talking about how broken druids are and how pros are using them to absolutely annihilate newly maxed out bases. Well, of course, no sooner than Galadon gets this video ready to go than Supercell comes out with a surprise nerf announcement regarding druids. And here's the thing, it's not like these druids haven't been around for a while already, but suddenly, oh my gosh, we got to get out there and emergency nerf the heck out of the druids. And I have to say, okay, on the scale of 1 to nerf, this is absolutely massive. The numbers are just horrific, drastic, traumatic. It is dogs and cats living together. They cut the bear hit points in half, and they've severely reduced the healing. Wow. I mean, and then they reduced the evolve time. So the healing was probably one of the big parts of the problem, as you can see from these strategies, where the druids were essentially just helping already strong heroes and their equipment annihilate base after base. So here we go once again, right? Yes, long-term players know this storyline because it's happened so many times, at least half a dozen, maybe a dozen times already in the history of Clash. And, well, in my opinion, there are two ways of looking at this. There's the positive camp and the negative camp, and you may be one or the other or maybe in between, but the way it kind of seems to me is, well, okay, Clash of Clans introduces a new troop, and what would be worse than to introduce a new troop that is so weak that nobody wants to use it, that it just feels bad and everybody complains about how this was so useless, and the Clash team spent all of this time developing a new and interesting troop mechanic and graphic and everything else, and nobody's going to use it because it's so weak. That would be the argument why a new troop should err on the side of too strong rather than too weak, right? That seems to make sense. Now, of course, the other camp says, oh, this is just Supercell pulling another bait and switch. They did this on purpose. They go out and they make these troops super, super strong so that we spend all of our money and all of our time and all of our resources upgrading them as fast as we can. And then, by the time the average player has it fully maxed out, they nerf it. They take it away. It's a bait and switch. Clash of Clans just wants to make more money off of us, and this is how they do it on purpose. Now, I mean, I'm sure there's people that believe that, and I guess if you look at it from a reasonable standpoint, objectively, you could come to that conclusion. But again, I think the first scenario makes a lot of sense as well, because it would be really bad to bring in a very weak troop. And I mean, let's be honest, how much testing can really go into preparing for an update? We've learned that over the years. There's no way to predict players' behavior. I mean, I've made entire videos that talk about how players used troops and spells in unintended ways that the Clash team never predicted, never thought were possible. I mean, the Queen Charge, using 5 healers behind a Queen. I guarantee you the Clash team did not imagine that was going to happen when they came out with the healer troop. Yet, it became one of the most steadfast, standard go-to strategies throughout all of Clash of Clans. So, yes, players learned how to use the druid and how to exploit the druid's strengths. So now we see a nerf. Disappointing, yes. Necessary, probably as well. Is there any other way around it? Not really, other than having really vast, extensive, expensive testing before releasing things, and I think that's almost impossible to do. So here you go. RIP Druid, suffering one of the most powerful nerfs in the history of the game. And let me know what you think down below in the comments. Thank you, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end of this brief episode. Get out there, make the best of the rest of your day, week, month, and year. Be kind to other people, animals, and the planet. And I'll see you all back here again the day after tomorrow for more full attacks without druids.
Galadon, I wrote a poem. Galadon, druid, man or bear, after the nerf no one shall care.